Coming up on today's CODE Bet Daily Weekly AFL Show. That's right, it's the combo Weekly AFL Show, Daily Show. And we are covering every single aspect of round 20 of the AFL. We're talking player props, game picks, best bets. There's even 2 Rate My Multis. I love that one. Stats guy, what's your favourite bet this week?
Brisbane to cover the line easily against the Suns. Yeah.
Nice one. Alex, what's your best tip?
Suva. Just get on Suva.
I love that. All right. Get around it. It's the CODE Bet Daily Weekly AFL Show. It's really good. It's happening right now. Welcome to CODE Bet Daily AFL Weekly. There we go. That's right. This is the AFL Weekly Show, but it's also CODE Bet Daily today. Time for round 20 of the AFL, gentlemen. I am your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website. You might have heard of it. It's called CODE Bet. It can be found at codebet.com.au. It's not hard.
Twist.
Not hard sometimes. I'm joined, as always, by the Pontiffs. That's right, the Pontiffs of punting. We've got Alex Donnelly over there in his Heen Man t-shirt.
Yep, hell yeah. Up and about. I think he's back. I'm very keen for the weekend, actually. There's some ripping matches, even with the lower end of the table, too.
Exactly.
So, it feels like rivalry week without it being tagged as rivalry week.
Yeah,
A lot of different rivals, yeah.
Actually, yeah.
It's awesome. There's also the stats guy.
Yep. I'm very nervous about this North game this weekend. Fingers crossed we can get our first win since round 2.
You were so nervous about not also saying, I'm here.
No.
But either way, this is Code Footy's back. Daily.
Absolutely.
It is what it says on the tin. It's codes, it's betting, it's daily, but it is just the AFL show. Now, if you want anything for your punting needs for Thursday night, a.k.a. the 5th Ashes test.
And the Tillies.
And the Matildas.
Yes.
playing tonight
Tillies.
against Nigeria. You can actually just listen to yesterday's show because we went through all of that. Yep. And I think it's actually pretty evergreen, that show yesterday.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe a couple of the games that we talked about that happened. But they're all happening now.
we covered a lot of the Australia stuff, which is important.
But yes, this is all footy all the time.
Yep.
All right, so we're talking player props, game picks, best bets. We've even got a couple of Rate My Multis
Ooh, nice.
for round 20, which is going to be nice.
Larry goal kicking one I've got.
Oh, love it.
Love a goal kicker.
Nice.
To recap last week's tips, Alex nailed 8. I sent in mine after a few tins up in far north Queensland and had 7. And Stats Guy,
Oh, I'll take that. Nice.
Woohoo! Nailed 9.
Yeah.
Good job, Stats Guy.
Yes.
Is that the first or second perfect week we've had?
I think I've had one. Alex and I had one a couple of weeks ago, I reckon, yeah.
I'm just dragging the chain.
I got a perfect 6 in a bye, but I got a 9 for 9 in like round 5 or something.
Yeah.
Right. I'm dragging the chain at 104. Alex is 107. Stats Guy out in front, 112.
God damn it, Western Bulldogs. I got 9 for 9 in my tipping comp because I thought I'd tipped Essendon all weekend. And I checked Sunday. I'm like, I tipped the Dogs.
Yeah, I always tip the same in the show as my tips, just so I don't feel bad about changing any tips. Yeah.
Well, as I said, having a few tins in me in far north
tipped
Queensland,
Geelong.
my
Yeah.
tips were very different to what
That's
I actually
true.
sent you guys.
That's true. You didn't look at the stats and everything.
Anyway, let's get into it. A couple of minutes for each game, every single game, around 20. Let's start
Should I blow the siren to start or
with a massive banner clash. Blow the horn, Alex.
Let's do it.
Jeez, it keeps going,
It's a
doesn't it?
long siren.
It is a
Gerald,
long
we need
siren.
to cut a second off
No,
that.
I like it.
We have a timer today too.
I was going to say, if that's down in Tassie, you wouldn't be able to hear it. Either way, Collingwood, Carlton on Friday night. You got the top of the table Pies, having won 5 straight. You got the Blues, my beloved
The
Carlton.
mid of the table.
Hashtag flaggers. We're back. We've beaten 5 crummy teams and Port Adelaide.
No, Port's a good team,
But
yeah.
Port did have 7 outs in that game. Carlton won 5 straight by 50 plus. Thing is, that ends now. Collingwood, way better. They've won 15 straight at home. They've actually had the wood, ironically enough, for Collingwood over the Blues. They've won 8 of the last 9 by 1-39.
Okay.
So Carlton have been in and around each of these games. I've personally been to, I think, 2 of them in the last couple of years. And you're like, we're just never there. And
You're there, not
Never
the end.
beating them earlier this year.
It sucks.
It sucked.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
year was horrible, so that's it. They met in round 10. Carlton never really even looked in the game.
Nah, that was when you were on the way
But
down.
15 straight at home for Collingwood is like, that's a lot at this point. Like, it's getting a little bit ridiculous. Thing is, I think this game, we're going to go unders because we've got 2 top 4 defenses. You got Collingwood, the best in the comp. Carlton are now up to 4th in defense. Up
Really?
to 4th. Only 73.3.
surprised me.
Amazingly, Carlton, after this 5-game run, are up to 8th in offense as
Yeah.
well. They're averaging like 118.
Great
over
percentage, which is going to help them.
Exactly,
towards the finals.
118 points over those last 5 games. But basically, look, the under is the play for this one. I think it's around 159.5 at the moment. To go back to the start and say Collingwood are $1.38 favourites, Carlton $3.20. The line is 17.5. which had me tempted to take Carlton because that 1-39, Carlton has sort of stuck with Collingwood. But I think the tip is going to come down to the simple fact that Collingwood, the way they came back against Port the other day, they're firing. Carlton look good, but without Silvani to sort of give you that second to third big option. De Koning's now going to play with Pitney.
Yeah, whatever.
What do you want to call him?
Yeah, whatever.
It's going to be a fascinating ruck situation, I think, for Carlton this week. See if you can throw De Koning forward to sort of replace Harry Mackay and Silvani. I like De Koning to kick a goal a lot in this one. Maybe 2+. He sprayed it a little bit last week, but was always up and about as the sort of lone big man with Silvani. And I like him to sort of, step up and maybe just at least kick one snag. Charlie, 3+ is the other goal kicking one for Carlton for me. Obviously not great value, but I think he's kicked 3+ in his last 4, including obviously 10.
10, yeah.
Against West Coast. It was good to be there to see someone kick a huge bag. Doc, he is a wood killer. He really is. 30+ for Sam Doherty and Adam Sard. I think there's going to be a lot of football in this Carlton back half this week. You see it all the time. Doc, I think, has averaged 31.5 against the Pies over his last 3.
Yeah, but that also shows how boring and crap Carlton have played. If he's getting 31 with that chip, you're going to get smashed.
It's not so much of that. It's more so that
he's got a kick. They give it to him a lot.
It's about the rebound. I think that's where Carlton, look, when they're at their best, it's actually Doc coming off the back half wing.
He was playing midfield a little bit as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I think 31 for Doc. Look, 30 for him. Feels pretty good. You've got Cripps. It looks like he's going to be back. 30+ for him. He had that massive game in round 23 last year. You might remember probably his best game of his Brownlow winning year.
He was trying to drag you.
This was his best game. He had
trying
35.
to drag you over the line, yeah.
He almost did it, and then they failed dismally at the very end. No heartbreak there at all. But I think for the Collingwood side of things, it's the Dakai. I absolutely love Josh Dakai.
I read that on the internet yesterday. Someone is trying to steal our material. Someone said Dakai yesterday, and I was like, hey. Code Bet has that. Yeah.
Coined it. Josh Dacos, a.k.a. Dacos the Older. The Brownlow, to be the older brother of a presumptive Brownlow winner, it's brutal. It's like, you're really good.
It's
not as
secretly
good as
it's secretly a good thing, though, because Nick gets all the media. Josh is killing it, and he doesn't have to be in the media.
Josh Dacos, 25+ in a goal. Love that. It's over $3.
It's bag out of all time. Like, you suck. Your brother's way better.
It's the classic, I think, what is it, the Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
When it comes to in the States, you've got a brother there. It's like, who gets the bigger chicken leg? Who gets the big turkey leg? It's like
Nick.
When you've got Peter Dacos, they go, this has been my leg for years. I better give it to your younger brother now. Josh's like, oh, but what about me?
We skipped a generation.
Shut up.
Like, you can grow a beard, that's fine. But I love Josh Dacos in this. That's over $3. Nick Dacos hasn't dropped below 25 all season. He's absolutely snagging goals as well at the moment. They'll probably Blues have send Ed Kerno probably to his side, try to limit him, but you can only sort of hope to limit him but not stop him, right? 25, he's not dipped below that all season, so 25+ and a goal for him, $1.80-ish. But Dakai the Elder, that's over $3. Yeah. I love that for 25+ in front of him. DeGoey, 20 and anytime goal, that's over $2 as well. Jamie Elliott loves killing the Blues, as we saw last year, saw last week.
Great form as well, yeah.
And here we go, $1.85 for him. The pick is Collingwood, 1-39. I think they're still too good. Carlton with a few injury problems. I don't think they've got quite enough there. Pies, they'll stay too hot. What do we reckon, gentlemen?
Yeah, I agree. But I don't mind Carlton at the line. I know that you don't have Harry Mackay and things like that. But
it's a good thing.
Collingwood at the G just always seem to have these really close games, especially big match against Carlton. So I don't mind Collingwood to win, but at the line, Carlton.
Nice one. Alex?
Collingwood.
Nice.
Yeah, keep it nice and simple.
Checks out. All right, next game we have Saturday opening up in Ballarat, my beloved hometown.
It is, yeah.
Beloved is, doing a bit of heavy lifting there. But anyway, stats guy.
Yeah, so we've got the Bulldogs taking on GWS. Bulldogs are $1.55, GWS at $2.55. Both 10 and 8 at the moment, and both in the top 8 for now. That over-under is 154.5. You're right. I mean, before Jim dies on set here. You're right.
Died the way he lived on camera, yelling about
drinking water.
Drinking water. Is that water? I don't know.
Really Irished up my coffee this morning.
This is actually a really good rivalry, I think. Since 2016, when the Bulldogs and GWS played in the finals. Before that season, some Dogs players left, including their captain, to go to GWS. There was a lot of rivalry there.
Who wouldn't want to leave Footscray to go live in the west of Sydney?
Well,
seriously.
but then he left, and then the Dogs won a premiership the year he left. So
He has
Ryan
a
Griffin,
lot of money.
Yeah. Anyway, and
Didn't
then
Tom
Toby
Boyd come down as well?
Tom Boyd left GWS.
So there's
exactly. So
a
it's
lot
back
of
and forth.
back and
Yeah.
forth. They
Yeah.
really don't
Awesome.
like each other. Toby Green
Callum
also
Ward
got
was a dog,
reported.
wasn't he?
That was when
Yeah.
Toby Green karate kicked a player that was a Bulldogs player. They absolutely hate each other, these
I'd
two
karate
teams.
kick Cody Waitman.
yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't have to lift my leg that high. Though.
And then as Jim would mention, that some of the weather in Ballarat at times isn't the best. It's
not great.
No, last year they played there and it was absolutely pouring, always windy down there. So 4 of the last 5 games at Mars Stadium have gone the under and well under. Bulldogs have the 6th worst offense, and then Giants have only kicked 71 points in their last 2 away games, like the highest of 71 points. So I'm going to go the under 154.5 here. I think the weather's supposed to be decently sunny, but it always seems to be windy, and then it might change the day before.
Well, where the oval is, it's North Ballarat Oval.
Very open,
and it's wildly open.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing past it, essentially, because it's sort of gets near the freeway and stuff.
Yeah.
And
So
it
it's
is
the
weird
quickest
'cause
way to
there
get
is-
out of the joint. Nice.
Well, it's like the weird part is there's like bits in closer to town. There's 2 other big ovals they could have done up, but they had more space to do it there. So they built that up, and it's just like it sucks.
It's
just
so
exposed.
windy. So that's
anyway.
why you got to go the under. I was surprised. I know it's really low at 154, but it could be well under. And then having a look at some doggies. Stars, Tom Liberatore, I think he's having an underrated season. Could sneak in as an All-Australian if people start.
No, he won't.
Oh, I think he should, but he might not because if people are looking at Marcus Bontempelli.
They're not going to pick 2 Western Bulldogs players in the midfield
I know, but
with Tim English as the ruckman.
Liver deserves to be in it. He's averaging
he'll be in
28
the squad.
disposals, 15 contested, 7 tackles, 8 clearances, and that's also helping his fantasy score. That's why I'm going to have a look and steal a bit of Leo's job here. 105 average AFL fantasy points this year. He averages 25 disposals at Mars Stadium, which is more than anywhere else, any other stadium in his career. So he loves playing there in the tough conditions.
Rich to call it a stadium.
Yeah, that's what it's called. And he's also got the 110 plus AFL fantasy points 8 times this year. So I think he's going to lift at Mars Stadium again and get that 110 plus at $2.20, which really good value there. Then another midfielder, Bont. I know we like to do a Bont 25 and a goal. It keeps lessening your odds, so I'm going to have a look at it. Another midfielder going really well, Caleb Daniel. They've put him in the midfield this year. He used to be a half back, but now in the midfield, just racking up disposals. He's got 25 plus in 7 of the last 10 games. So 25 plus at $2.15.
I believe his full name is Wee Little
Caleb Daniel with the
I
helmet.
like how you said he's a half back. He is half a foot tall.
Yeah, he used to be half back. Yeah, now he's half midfield.
Half a man.
Is that what you're supposed
I'm
to say?
a real boy.
And then back to Toby Green. He absolutely loves playing against the Dogs. He's got an insane average of 22 disposals and 2.7 goals against them. And he's playing more of a deep forward role than pushing up the ground as he did end of last year. He's got 3+ goals in 7 of his last 9 games. So
This is the best year he's had ever.
yeah, he's been unbelievable. Green 3+ goals. I think it's an absolute lock at $2.15. You can't go past that. And then a lesser-known player, but he's having a good season, is Isaac Cumming. Cummings averaging 19 disposals as Alex sniggers.
Is Isaac coming or is he Isaac going?
I was just more like, do they call him Cum Dog as well?
Gerald's like, oh, can we say
Gerald's
that?
gone.
But yeah, I'm going to finish off with coming 20 plus disposals at $1.85. Bulldogs are going to win this one. They've won 6 of their last 7 at Mars. And I really like them in the tough conditions. They've also beaten the Giants in the last 5 meetings. So Bulldogs 1-39. Not going to be a blowout because it's going to be low scoring. $2.05 there.
Yeah, I picked the Dogs. I don't feel great about
I'm
it.
not confident because Giants, I didn't say that, have won 6 of their last 7. But
And have
Dogs,
won in Adelaide,
Dogs
Geelong.
down in Ballarat, they know the conditions.
Alice
better.
Springs. Like, GWS have been winning in weird places.
That's true.
I look forward to Sam Taylor just getting a hold of this back line. That's a cute headband, Aaron
Yeah.
Norton. I'm going to give you a bath.
Jamara, I don't know. There's a lot
Yeah.
going on. But Jamara outside of Marvel, who knows what's going to happen.
True.
So. But I like the Dogs. I think they can just sneak out.
Even the Dogs and under, yeah.
GWS in a close one.
Nice.
Nice.
Geelong Freo.
Oh, this one ain't for the faint of heart. This one, $1.08. The Cats, 45.5 line. Fremantle, 8.75. Over-under of 168.5. Geelong could probably hit that the way they're going at the moment. Freo have lost their last 5 by an average of 45.4 points. They stink.
Wow.
Geelong have won 12 of the last 13 down at Geelong. Of course, GWS have rolled them, but also Freo have won the last 3 between the two. I do remember being very confident about Fremantle beating them earlier in the year, which they did, and they won here last year. Let's just roll into it because Freo suck. They are ranked 14th in the AFL for attack. Geelong are 4th. Jezza Cameron is back. 3 goals late last week. We saw Buddy Franklin get a hold of the Dockers last week. If he can get a hold of them, Jeremy Cameron go, that's awesome. He's kicked 23-22 in his last 11 games, but against the Dockers. 3 goals plus is $2. 5 goals plus is $7.25. The Dockers have given up 418 points in their last 4 games. Yadin, looking around this forward line, Ollie Henry's actually been really good the last month. He's got 2 or more in his last 5. He's even money to kick 2 once again.
Every week he is. Yeah.
Will Hayward popped up with 3 last week. Sort of similar players. Like I'm looking at these teams and going, all right, who got a hold of you like recently and who can do the same again? And then you just look towards Tom Stewart. He had 40 against the Dockers last year. It seems insane. Fremantle, watching them last week, were very predictable going forward. Like the only time it was unpredictable was when somehow Lockie Schultz kept getting out the back and kicked 4 goals. I don't know how that happened still. But just going in, just straight to Tracy, straight to Amos. Tom Stewart's going to go, oh yeah, another one, another intercept marked. 30 plus is $3.45, given he hasn't had a lot of touches in the last couple of months. But 100 plus fantasy points, one of Leo's bets, is $2.05. Trying to find a positive for Fremantle. Luke Jackson. He had 43 hitouts and 14 touches last week. He had 15 against the Cats earlier this season. He's a player that can sneak forward and run off, you know, your big clubs and all that.
Good player, yeah.
15 plus and a goal's $4.60. Don't mind it.
Yeah.
And I spelled Sarong wrong. I wrote a Sarong in this down here. 30 plus is $1.92. 5 of his last 6 with 30 or more. I find it hard to find a betting angle on Fremantle because Michael Frederick looked dangerous last week, but dead set had 6 touches.
Yeah.
Sonny Walters is the same, but there's no betting value in him to kick a goal. And it's just like, oh yeah, Geelong's defense is like really good. So I'm like, I don't see a way of Freo turning this around. Like even Brayshaw, he had like 28, 29 last week. He's 25 plus is $1.20. Like, I'm not going to tip you into that. Long story short, Geelong minus 55.5 at $2.50.
Ooh.
I do worry about the line.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the same,
What, as you said, right? Freo won the last 3, but that was a half decent Freo
This
squad.
was like,
who actually were playing with like a hint of confidence, and at the moment they are not. So, but I'm going to go Geelong. I think they win.
Yeah,
and I like that. I love that Jezebel.
This is going to be like,
plus.
yeah, this is going to be that game. Oh yeah, Geelong won that by 10 goals. Cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't mind the Geelong 40 plus. I know it's a bit less than the line.
Yeah, I'd be
just because that the extra 5, I don't know. 40 seems to hit for Geelong a lot
One
down
goal.
there. But it's 1 goal, you're right. So yeah, don't mind the 40 plus there for Geelong.
Yep. All right, let's go.
All Cats.
Cats.
Cats, yeah.
Nice one. Gold Coast Brisbane, the Q Clash.
Yes.
Oh yeah, this started off a tweet storm, bro.
That was funny.
Oh, let's
That
get
was funny
tweets.
too.
It's
It was
literally
weird.
One whiplash like crack across the top of the knuckles by Gold Coast,
And
and that was it.
And then Hey, we were friends with Brisbane on Twitter earlier this year. What
We
happened?
were, yeah. Can we get them back?
Drop the ball.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Screw 'em.
Anyway, Gold Coast Brisbane. Who's doing this?
Yeah,
one?
that's me. So Gold Coast $3.75, Brisbane $1.31. The line surprisingly low for me, 20.5, and the over under is 166.5. The Q Clash is they like to build it up as a rivalry, but it's very one sided. Lions have won the last 9 Q Clashes, so they probably need to stop tweeting, or Suns can concentrate on some other things. The Lions are the clear number 1 offense in the comp, averaging 97.5 points per game. That great forward line, as we love to talk about. They've scored over 107 points in 7 of the last 8 meetings with the Suns. So I'm really going the over. I know the Suns have been in bad form, but if they can get that 110 plus sort of points, and then you just got to get Suns over 50 points, which they should easily clear at home, especially. And then, having a look at some player props. Lincoln McCarthy, I had him for 2 plus last week. I think it was almost the same odds, $2.80-ish. And he's got, in these last 3 games, he had 3, 2, and 2 in goals, and he's still paying $2.85 to kick 2 plus. I'm really surprised about that one. At the start, I think it's because at the start of the year he wasn't kicking any goals. They were playing him on the wing, a little bit half forward into that midfield sort of role. But now they're like, you need to stay forward. That's what he's in the team for, to kick goals. So 2 plus at $2.85, I'm very surprised about. So get on that with Ladbrokes. I'm not sure if the odds are less on some other sites, because it should be, but get on him on Ladbrokes at the moment. And then Zorko, he's in terms of his career, he's sort of dropped off a little bit, but he's still averaging 19 disposals this year. I think with Ashcroft out, he's going to get back into the midfield a little bit more. He's been playing a bit more forward, but he'll get back into that midfield. Averages 22 disposals against the Suns across his career. And I think he's going to just get above his average, so 20 plus $1.82.
What are their other options for the midfielders?
Lions.
I was looking
Jared
through
Lyons.
the odds. Lions,
Lyons,
but he's more of a winger because he's that outside player they give the hands to, whereas Zorko can play inside and out. I think they'll
Why
put
would
him in
you
there.
put slow-ass Zorko in that midfield?
Oh, he's pretty strong in the I know he can play inside and out. I don't know. I think they'll put him back in there. And even if he doesn't, he's still averaging 19.
I do like that price though.
I'd throw Cam Rayner in there. At least he's
Cam Rayner.
quick.
Yeah.
But
I
$1.82
Cam Rayner deep forward.
for 20 plus for Zorko. I love that.
Yeah. Throw a multi. Don't trust him? No. Fair enough.
I feel like they've got to plug that hole somehow, right?
Yeah.
That's why I think it's Jared Lyons.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to have a massive game.
Or Zach Bailey plays more time in
Zach
midfield.
Bailey, maybe.
But like I was saying about McCarthy, they got Bailey and McCarthy who they try in the midfield and things like that.
It's really
Gotta
funny.
keep them
Lincoln
forward,
McCarthy can't kick straight. Like,
No, well, last couple of weeks he has, but he's kicked a lot of points.
well,
So,
they have McCluggage.
yeah,
Forget about him
McCluggage
too.
as well. They've got such a good team. Yeah,
That's what I don't put Zorko in there. It's like, nah.
yeah. And then looking at the Suns side of the player props, Ben Ainsworth's having a solid season for the Suns. He's averaging a career high 17 disposals and over a goal per game. He's got 9 goals in the last 5 matches. Just another value bet for 2+ is $3.
Because King can't get a kick at the
Yeah,
moment.
King can't get a
touch the
kick.
ball.
And I think you got Payne and Harris Andrews back there who are an absolute amazing form for Brisbane. They're going to cover the tolls.
Well,
Ainsworth's going to get the crumbs.
Payne's going to be on King, and what's he just?
Harris
Harris is going
Andrews.
to. I was going near Ben King. Boom.
Yeah, so if it hits the ground, I think the way that the Suns are going to get their goals is through Ainsworth. He loves a crumb, so 2+ at $3. I thought it was great odds. And then just a multi sort of bit of slight value. Charlie Ballard having an underrated season, great intercept marker. I think Alex was talking about him.
Get him in the All-Australian team. I have like 8 fullbacks in my All-Australian
There's
team.
a lot of tall backmen.
Why don't you just do your all fullback team?
Oh,
Yeah.
I did write it down because Stats Guide, I had this conversation. Keep going, Stats Guide. I had this last week. We had this conversation.
But yeah, Ballard, who we've loved on this show, he's averaging 14 touches this year, and he had 17 last time against the Lions. I think he's going to see a lot of the ball in defence and take some of those intercept marks. So 15+, $1.62 is good for your multi. And then I'll finish it off. I did mention Brisbane, that line. I'm really surprised it's only 20.5. They've won 5 of the last. They've won 5 of their last 6 matches and desperate to lock in that top 4 spot. Harris Andrews, especially, as Alex just mentioned, will be too strong in the back line. And that line is just tiny. So go Brisbane -20.5. Absolute lock.
Side note, my back line in my All-Australian team that I've done.
Are they all tall?
Quainor, Sam Taylor, Ballard, Nick Dacos, Darcy Moore, Dan Houston.
It's actually not
I got
bad.
Harris Andrews on the bench.
I'll pay
Where's
that.
Charlie Ballard?
Are we,
Charlie
Oh,
Ballard.
sorry.
are we all taking Brisbane?
Brisbane.
Yeah,
Brisbane.
gotta go Brisbane in the
I love that
clash.
line too.
Yeah.
Essendon, Sydney. An amazingly fascinating game, this one.
Yeah.
Alex Donnelly.
Elimination final Saturday night, not Sunday. I'll be drunk on Sunday if we win. Essendon 2.15 with a 4.5 start. $1.72 the Swans, over under of 170.5. Let's rip off some facts. Swans have failed to cover the line in their last 8 nighttime matches at Marvel. Love those quirky ones. 7 of the last 8 Bombers matches have gone under, but the last 5 between the two have gone over. Bombers are 1-4 in their last 5. They have been absolutely smashed in the last 2
Love to
weeks.
see it.
You got beaten around the contested footy after quarter time last week. This is the 7th ranked Swans team versus the 9th ranked in attack. In defence, Bombers are 14th, and the Swans, despite everyone getting injured this year, are only 8th in ranked in defence, which is really actually surprising. For the Bombers, with Ridley out, I'm a bit worried. They've coughed up 97, 122, and 90 in their last 3. Swans started to click last week. The over-under for the Swans is 87.5 just for them. I don't mind that over, the way they went last week. Going for some players here. Mason Redmond, he signed that fat new contract, so hopefully he keeps playing well. He's got 25+ in his last 4, and he's $2 at Marvel, and he's $2.75 to do it once again.
Nice.
He's got to be that one that gets them going off the half-back line. Jim's favourite, Zach Merritt.
Zerrett.
He had 24 and 3 last year against the Swans when they won by a goal at the MCG. He averages 27 in his career at Marvel. But you think for the Bombers to win and for him in and around the contested footy, he needs to nudge that 30 mark.
Yep.
This isn't a 25+. This is Merritt 30, 32 with a goal. He's $2.15 for that 30+. But we've got to talk about their forward line. They've kicked 45 and 49 points in their last 2. They've only gone over 100 once since round 13. Peter Wright hasn't got near it since he ripped Carlton the new one, that first game back. This Swans defence still isn't fully clicked at the moment. They've leaked some points throughout the year. He's got 3+ in his last 3 night games at Marvel, and that was about $2.40. Jakey Stringer has been just abysmal for a long time, but he's got 2+ in his last 5 against the Swans. He seems to lift against them. Obviously, he's won the flag against them too. $2.10 for that. If you like it, I thought it was good price. It's just like, I don't know, but it could be that game where Stringer has 6 touches and kicks 2 goals, and I'm just like, I hate everything about Essendon so much.
What's it, Marvel? You kick
Yeah.
6 and you wouldn't sort of blink, right? You
I
go,
bet.
"What is that?"
He's been bad last couple of
He's
months.
been horrible
Yeah.
all season, but it's like
Yeah.
the one thing where you go, how did Stringer have
randomly
6
has
in
those
that
games,
one
yeah.
game?
Yeah, he played on Harry Cunningham or something. The Swans have won 2 in a row, and they hit 100 for the first time since round 7. I'm not counting the West Coast game, so that's the important thing.
Yeah, we probably should take some of those
A
out
man
of
in
the
the
stats.
T-shirt, he's back, the Heen machine. He's got 15+ in 14 of his last 15 at Marvel. He's kicked 6 goals in the last 3 weeks. He's starting to kick straight. 15+ in a goal, $2.03. Our favourite here, Chundley, Parker, and Mills in the midfield. They're starting to gel after they've all missed chunks of footy throughout the season. Chundley averages 25 and a goal against the Bombers, but just looking at a bit less. He only had 20 last week when he's 17, in his first game back. 20 and a goal is $3. You have a look at Luke Parker. He's got more possessions against Essendon than any club he's played against in history. He averages 26.19. So 30 plus for him, just the way he played last week as well, just throwing bodies all over the midfield and a lot of hand passes. $3. Callum Mills, 25 plus is $2.55. And we've also got to mention, of course. Knew it. Timed it up.
Nice.
Average of 25 a game this season. He's 9 for 9 goal-wise at Docklands. 20 in a goal, $1.89. And I love this little same game multi with better. Papley to kick a goal, Errol 25, Chunley 20 plus, $2.25 with better.
Nice.
Cool.
And you got to finish with the great man. He's going out in a high, the bud.
He loves
79 goals against the Bombers in his career, 5 plus in his last 4 at Marvel against them.
Jeez.
Wow. I don't think he can hit those heights, but he was really good last. He's actually been good since that Richmond game. 3 plus $4.10.
Ever since you retired him before the Richmond game.
Yeah,
I think a lot of
He's
people
been
did.
awesome
A lot of people
since.
did.
I had a bloke try and retire Tom Hawkins. He kicked like 6th the next week. Anyway, Bud 3 plus, I know the time has gone. 3 plus is $4.10. If you like him to hit that average of the 5 plus, $31.
$31.
I have to have $5 on that.
I like it.
I think the Swans win. I think Essendon off the last 2 weeks are absolutely cooked. Fremantle and the Western Bulldogs smashed Essendon. The Swans beat both of them. I know that's not how it works, but if it does, Swans win.
Nice.
I just worry about the Swans at Marvel. That's my only sort of qualm with this
We've
one.
won like 5 of our last 6.
You look at something like that North Melbourne game earlier in this season.
How bad were we going then?
Exactly,
Yeah,
but it's
but
like
it
just
evens up a bit.
But it's the only game we played there this year. Last year we smacked St Kilda, smacked North Melbourne.
It's not last year though.
Got
You're
close
actually
to
good
you.
last year.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
at times. Whereas I feel like Essendon, this is like last punch vibes.
But they
and
just
they're
look
at Marvel.
tired.
And we'll just go Big Peter Wright up there. See if he can do anything.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, if he can get going.
I feel like
honestly, I think they're tired as well from taking on Scott's game plan. Like it was, he's here. You need to learn all of this and get fit. And it's just like they're cooked. That Port Adelaide game cooked them.
Yeah,
I think this is an absolute thriller. Essendon fall over the line.
Yeah.
Stats go.
I'm going Swans. I was having a look before. Essendon are still the worst clearance team in the whole comp. Worse than West Coast.
And we actually picked up our clearance game
And
last week. We won it for the first time in a month last week.
And I really like Sydney's midfield.
Like Parker, Chunley, Mills, Errol, Robotham all in there.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So I don't try. Can't
I'm
trust
pumped.
Essendon. Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, let's go. Why isn't it Saturday yet?
You just spent 20 minutes talking about Essendon versus Sydney.
Where's the
It's a
siren? It's
rivalry
because he's
game.
in charge of the
Oh,
siren.
yeah. There we go. Hold on. Yeah. Swans.
Showdown 54
I
hits
hate that this is on
Adelaide
at the same
Saturday
time.
night. The two prides of South Australia. Does that check out?
No, because
Yeah.
it's the mighty Adelaide Crows.
I do like that everybody. There was like a point that I saw made on the internet that outside
must
of
be
like
true.
Port fans, nobody actually likes Port more than Adelaide. You're like, I don't know. I don't mind the Power this year. I got a lot of time for them. But you've got
the
8 and
fans are
10.
pretty bad.
8 and 10 Adelaide taking on 14 and 4 Port. Port have their last 2 after the 13-game win streak.
Yep.
They're still favourites, $1.42 versus $3 for the Crows. The line is 16.5, which I really like in terms of the Crows. I think Port win this. I think Adelaide, especially at Adelaide Oval, keep this close. I don't mind in terms of the over-under as well, the over is very clearly the play. 7 of the last 8 at Adelaide Oval have gone over. The past 3 showdowns have hit the over.
Okay.
This is the second-ranked offense in the league versus the third-ranked. They're both averaging 94 points a game.
No
That's
chance
a
of
lot.
rain, by the way.
Sorry?
No chance of rain.
No chance of rain, so it'll be
That's
nice
always
in Adelaide.
nice, yeah.
Excellent. But this is it. Adelaide had the upset of the early part of the season when they beat Port in round 3.
Yeah.
In showdown 50.
Yes.
Dos.
53.
53.
52.
Rather. 53.
Yeah, you said 53.
Amazing. Yeah, 53. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
54. Amazingly, Showdown's history, it's 27 to 26 in favour of Port. Isn't that insane?
Really?
27 to 26 in the history of it. I kind of love it. But either way, I think what we're going to see here, I think the headline on the site will be Plucked Crows. It's worrisome that Rankine's out.
Yeah, there also another knee injury, not Duty. Who was the guy
Nick
who went
Murray?
down?
Nick Murray, yeah,
Murray goes down.
Yeah.
This is why I think the Crows may not win another game for the rest of the year.
This is why it's
Except for the
struggled
West
down.
Coast game.
I think they just keep this close because it's at Adelaide Oval. I think they just go absolutely hammer and tongs in it. Another showdown. Jordan Dawson, 30-plus disposals.
He loves showdowns.
He loves a good showdown. He's gone for 27-plus touches in 8 straight games at Adelaide Oval, which is pretty gnarly. He's top 30 this year on 7 occasions. That's a lot. I think he's going to go bang. It's $2 just via BetR for the 30+ for Jordan Dawson. Wouldn't mind throwing in a goal there as well. Just saying.
Okay.
Other names, you got obviously Laird, Sloan, usually sort of the heavy lifters for the Crows when it comes to disposals. Brodie Smith, though, has racked up, I think, 4 straight, 20+. It's one of those sneaky multi ones where you just go, oh, yeah, Brodie Smith, 20+. Boom, off we go. That's $1.62 by itself. But Ben Keys, the man with the other elegantly haired one, he and Bailey Fritsch could start a hair care range and everyone would be just like, this is sick, let's go.
Buckets of gel.
Ben Keys, 25+ disposals and an anytime goal. $3.03 because in the last 3 games, Keys has actually only managed 20, 17 and 19 disposals. That came after a run.
They didn't put him in the midfield last week.
Yeah, they were playing him.
This is the problem.
They've been playing him in the forward line.
And what's happened to the Crows?
They got smashed.
So they might put him back in.
Keep getting smashed.
Yeah.
5 games prior, over 25+.
Okay.
What do they do in those games? They won.
They won, yeah.
So he's also kicked a goal in 7 of his last 8. I love Keys in this game a lot. Loves a showdown.
Cool.
Tex as well, when he's gone up against a team in the top 4, he's booted 4. That's how he goes.
Really?
Last 3 of his
That's
last
like
4.
usually the opposite of
That's what he
forwards,
does. And 4+ in this one is $4.10. You know he has to absolutely go out there and kick them a bag to stay in touch with the Coleman.
Yep.
So you know the Tex will be looking for it. It's also one of those ones where you go, what are their options without Rankin?
Rochelle's
Oh,
not back
the
yet.
fan
Rochelle's
favourite.
Exactly.
Lucky Pedlar.
You reckon
He
Pedlar
missed
gets
a
up there?
sitter last Sunday. The crowd favourite's dead to me.
I did
The fan
consider putting
favourite.
Pedlar in there for 2+ because
Yeah, he's
I
got
think
2+
he's that sort of
most
extra.
weeks, yeah.
He sort of fits in those gaps, but Tex 4+.
But he's not as good as Rankin, though.
For Port, Zach Butters 30+ disposals anytime goal because why not?
Give me Rosie 25 and a goal.
25 and 2 goals for Rosie. Thank you very much. He's kicked 2+ in his last 4.
I may be starting to like Rosie more than Butters.
He's gone 3, 2, 2 and 2, I believe.
Yeah.
So Rosie, he's absolutely crushing
That's
it.
no slight on Butters. Rosie's just awesome.
He's at $4.20 for the 25+
Nice.
and 2+ goals. Butters is 30+ disposals anytime goal. That was around just over $2, which is pretty good too. Butters, look, he's only gone over the 30, I think, 6 times this year, but this showdown is going to be an absolute belter. Finlayson as well, if you want to go for the goals for Port. $2.90 for 3+.
T Marshall for me.
You reckon, Todd?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, he's a good, accurate kick, yeah.
3 of the last 4 with, as a favourite, Finlayson has booted 3. So I think Port win. I think Adelaide keep it close enough, though. That line's a little bit too wide for me. 17.5 for 3 goals. Port have been very, very scratchy. They should have won last week. They didn't. Adelaide just rubbish at times, but I feel like a showdown, they step up. Keep it close. Port win.
Yep. Port.
Yeah, I agree with you. Adelaide at the line, but going to go Port.
Nice one. There's also the classic 25-25-20 when it comes to
is that
Port.
on BetR again?
25-25-20 of Butters, Rosie, Wines for the 20. Hawthorn Saints on Sunday.
Another blockbuster.
Absolute blockbuster.
This is the one game I will not be paying any attention to.
Hawthorn, $2.15. St Kilda, $1.72. The line is only 5.5. St Kilda have been in the 8 for a big chunk of this year, and they are only slight favourites over the Hawks. The over-under is 158.5. Alex, where is this going to go?
Under.
Yeah, it is.
Ross Lyons
Of course
coaching.
it's going to go under.
It's a
Hawks,
marvel for some
It's a marvel, and no one knows why. Hawks won this game back in May, the end of May.
They got handball happy, and they just ran straight through them.
And the Saints have not covered in 6 straight games. The only 2 wins the Saints have in their last 6. Who did they come against?
North, I was there, unfortunately.
West Coast.
And West Coast,
okay,
yeah.
bet this one
Just.
before.
Yeah, yeah.
They only got, I think it was a combined margin of like, what, 13 points, 14
Against,
points
yeah,
between
the two
the two
worst
of them?
teams, yeah.
I think what that tells us quite expertly is that the Saints stink.
Yeah.
Out loud. The Hawks, meanwhile, should have beaten Richmond last week. Tanked quite expertly.
Oh, perfect result for Hawthorn.
Because Hawthorn
lead all the
looked this
way and still lose.
Leo's happy with those picks.
How do we tank so that Freo don't win more or less games than us? We better lose this one against the Tigers.
Yeah, because
Off they win. But in this game, I actually like a couple of goal kickers for the Hawks. Lukey Bruce, 3+ in his last 3 at Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Randomly enough. $2.65 for him for go 3. Brockman as well. When he's played home games, I do love these weird ones. Just like, in their home games, they've done this. I'm like, but it's at Marvel.
But it's also like he may have had 3 away games at the MCG.
It's pretty weird. So Brockman 2+ though in 3 of his last 4. $3.20 for 2+ goals from
He's dropped
Brockman.
off
I love
a
that.
little bit, but he's a good player.
Butler on the other end. We've got no Maxi King for the Saints, I believe, and Butler.
I didn't even know he was playing last week against North.
4 of his last 5 away games. Butler really stunk it up last week.
Yeah, but he's having a decent. He's having a decent
it up
season.
last week.
Yeah,
$2.10.
that's true.
$2.10 for his 2+ goals. I don't mind him. He's look, within the confines of Marvel, up against Hawthorn, you feel like he should shake loose for 2. Newcomb 30+ in his last 2. We were talking about this before with Leo, the resident Hawks fan. He's been shredding it. If you reckon he can go 3+ and against the Saints, why not? $3.05.
Or 30+, you mean?
30+ for Newcomb.
Yeah.
Will Day 26+ in 5 of his last 6. $1.48. That's a great multi-edition as usual for Will Day for 25+. On the Saints side, Steele 30+, $2.95. He's gone for 31 and over in his last 2 at Marvel. And Crouch, cheap 25 disposals.
Yeah, he just gets those.
That's another multi-edition though. $1.40 for his 25+. The tip is the under and the Hawks.
I'm going Hawks. I saw the Saints firsthand at Marvel and they're kicking efficiency and losing King as well. Caminiti can't kick straight. I don't trust him, so I'm going to go the Hawks as well.
Philippou.
Yep.
Don't mind the poo. I feel like I didn't actually get into digging into his because I didn't actually write this article, but I don't mind.
Hawthorn.
Hawks win.
Hawks.
Richmond, Melbourne.
Yeah,
Alex.
the Tigers, $2.62. The D's $1.50. The line's only 11.5, which seems a bit weird given the price differential there. Over under is 167.5. Richmond has covered in 7 of its last 8 against the D's. The D's have won the last 3. 7 of the last 8 have gone under. Richmond got past a tanking Hawthorn last week by the barest of margins. The D's have started to score freely again. What is going on? Don't know what's happened, but hey, whatever. The D's won this game easily on Anzac Eve. It was awesome.
It is weird that Bailey Fritsch goes out and then they start.
No. It's
booting
Ben
goals.
Brown.
Ben Brown
Comes back in and
Comes
they start.
back in.
He gets 3 touches.
Oh, yeah.
It's the he's in to free someone else.
Free other
up.
people out. Yeah. That's what
That's sort of what it is. It's like, yeah, you just go stand in the pocket, you big dude. Whatever. Anyway, I am worried about this Richmond forward line. I still don't know how they beat Hawthorn. But anyway, Jacob Van Rooyen has kicked to at least 1 goal a game when the D's have been fave. That's been 11 times this year. Liking him for 2+ at $2.30. Jack Viney's got a goal in 7 of his last 8 at the G. Still $2.40, and he always pops up. He's also had 25+ in his last 6.
Jeez.
25 and a goal, $4.
He's been amazing since Clary's been out, yeah.
Cade Chandler, someone that probably hasn't been mentioned on this show all year. He's got a way of finding the
he
goals.
got mentioned early on because I had him in a couple of our sneaky Melbourne.
Yeah, he does pop up for some goals.
So
Good
he's got like 3 or more in like 4 of his last 7 at the G, which is just wild. You're like, oh yeah, go Cade Chandler. So 2+ is $3.60. And the obvious, Petrarca, 25 and a goal. He's got 26+ in his last 11 games at the MCG.
That's ridiculous.
That's $1.92.
That's still good.
Alex Neil-Bullen, first goal scorer. He's done it in 2 of the last 3. 21 schmackaroos for that. Going to Richmond, Jacob Hopper, 25+. He's going to have to be in and under, getting a lot of the footy there. Alongside the 151st ranked player in the AFL, Tim Taranto, 25 and 2. He needs to go head-to-head with Petrarca and match him. He's got 2 or more in 2 of his last 3 at the MCG. 25 and 2 is $3.83. We're speeding through this because, well, I haven't dug too deeply into this game yet. I'm ripping into it after, but I really do find it hard just sort of having my little overview of it earlier. I've written probably half of my article so far. Very hard to be positive about Richmond in this. The D's, just the way, I know they've only been close margins, but they're scoring freely.
Getting over the line.
And having seen Richmond up close a few times recently, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, this is going to have to be like Dusty 30 and 2.
Yeah, Richmond rely on Taranto. Like, some of their wins have come through Taranto getting 35 and 3 or 4, things like that.
If this game screams D's win by 25, they never look like getting beaten, and it's like 85 to 60.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, you're right though. Like the only way that Richmond win this is like a dusty 20 and 2.
Yeah,
absolutely crushed.
Jack kicks 5 out of nowhere. But then it's like you've still got Stephen May and Jake Lever to deal with. Jake Melksham's like going off his head at the moment. In that forward line. Like that Melbourne forward line looks dangerous if Cozzy starts getting his hands on the footy as well. Like, yeah, I find it hard. And also, we haven't mentioned. I haven't written it down yet. This is the 1 week Richmond are really going to miss Toby Nankervis. Max Dillon's about, who are you? Have fun. 3 votes coming to me.
True.
So Max Gawn, 120+ fantasy points, whatever that is.
It's also crucial.
Leo, look it up, please.
Richmond will throw the kitchen sink at this, right? So
this is the last chance.
If they win, Carlton lose. Like they're still
Essendon lose.
Still right there.
Yeah.
So I'm going Melbourne though. I just feel like, look, Richmond barely beat Hawthorn. Melbourne are better than Hawthorn. Yeah. It's one of those simple ones where you go, Melbourne have a lot of quality. They're very deep. They're very good. They're better than Richmond. Melbourne win.
Yeah, whatever max score is for 100+ fantasy points, take that.
Nice.
It's not in the markets yet, but yeah, please take that.
Stats guy?
Yeah, I'm going Melbourne as well. Don't trust Richmond's forward line, and as Alex mentioned, I think Gordon's going to have an absolute field day.
Yeah.
Nice one. All right, to bookend a wild week of AFL, we've got Collingwood Carlton on Friday night. We finish up on Sunday with West Coast North.
Oh, bloody hell. I'm nervous for this game because we are the favourites for the first time in about, 15 weeks or
Since
something.
round one.
Yeah. So West Coast, $2.18. North Melbourne, $1.77. That line is 4.5. I think they've just looked at the last game because we beat them by 5 points and gone, 4.5.
That'll do.
That sounds about right because we do not want to. They don't want to pick this game. Over under is 169.5. Both teams haven't won since round 2. As a desperate North fan, was looking for
Both
a win.
of those games were in Perth as well.
Yeah, both those games are in Perth. One good thing, for North, we've won our last 2 games in Perth, beating West Coast there last year and Freo at the start of the year when Freo were even worse than they are now. I don't know what. Anyway, it's all over the shop.
That really was a sign for Freo's year.
It was, yeah, when we beat them over there. That was when we were 2-0 in the top 4.
Is Clarko back in the box this week?
No, next week.
Just,
yeah.
damn it, I would have said you're certain.
Yeah, get us in the coach bounce when he's back against Melbourne. No, that's not going to happen.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, a podcast favourite, of course. We can't talk about West Coast without talking about Oscar Allen. He's kicked 2+ in 14 of the 18 games he's played this year. I'm going to have a look at just 3+. It's a bit more value against North, who without Griffin Logue now out of injury, with an injury. 3+ is $2.35. I think you get him at about $1.50 for 2+, so that's still good for your multis.
Always your multi edition.
But yeah, they're gonna go to him every time
Until Adam Simpson has a brain fart. Oh, hey,
yeah, go back.
play
yeah.
fullback.
Nah, we don't have. Yeah,
Suvlaki's got 8 goals at halftime.
Yeah.
He's like, I better see Oscar Allen.
that's the only worry. But he's not as big and agile
Suva's
as
got 8 at
as
halftime.
Kerner.
We're
We're
cheering.
laughing. We are laughing.
Actually, I didn't mention as well. Looking at that, I think West Coast rely on Allen too much. North rely on Larkey too much to kick goals. And I just don't trust this being a really high scoring game with the bottom 2 teams. So the under 169.5. I thought that was going to be a lot
taking the
lower.
over.
I'm going over.
I'm going over.
I think this is a free-flowing affair.
we don't have
This is
enough
like,
North.
you know what?
From everywhere.
Hey, boys, we're not going to tackle. Let's see if we can actually kick.
Especially North, we just don't have enough goal kickers, I think, to get that on the over. But we'll see.
Is Stevenson still around as well?
Yeah, but he's dropped off last month.
Slevo's
But in
not
these
been
type
great,
of games, he did kick, I think it was 3 or 4 last time we played.
Yeah, let's go Slevo.
Yeah, and then another player look for West
Aaron
Coast.
Thomas, 20 and 2, $3.50. Boom.
Yeah, he's been playing off half forward actually.
There you
Witherden sort of stepped
Oh,
up
yeah, he's
since
going good.
he's been going well. He's had 25 disposals across the last month. I think he's a great multi-addition. Just $1.65. I don't really trust a lot of the other West Coast players, so we'll go with him. Then the Suva, as Alex and James are on. I think James got him at $19. Get an air hole for it. I love that.
Suva gets an air horn.
Where's the cash?
He's dropped from 19.
Cash.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, this goes for too long.
It goes for 6 seconds.
It's wasting my siren time here.
Love it.
Cash, hopefully. He's down to $9.75 from $19.6+. He's got 6+ in the last 2 meetings. And then I'm going to finish off with an AFL fantasy pick. LDU was amazing against the Saints last week. He's averaging 121 AFL fantasy points across the last 3 weeks. And he had 123 AFL fantasy points last time we played the Eagles. I think he's going to absolutely tear it up. 110+ AFL fantasy is $2.55.
I'm taking the 120.
Yeah, or I don't even think you can bet on the 120, but that's great value at the 110. And then the Roos, I think, just has a slightly stronger team. I'm not saying it's a strong team, but less injuries and we'll get a close win. Won't be a blowout. It was 5 points last time. I don't trust either team.
You don't understand how bad West Coast
I
suck.
do, but you don't understand watching. I've sat through every single North game this year. So I'm just going to go North 1-39. Don't have to worry about the line. Don't have to worry about things like that. Just a safe bet, $2.30.
I'd rather go the line because it could be a blowout and you still cover.
But it could be like a couple of point win. I don't trust it.
I
Yeah.
feel like
I'm going to, yeah.
It probably doesn't help that I'm a North fan and just worried about this game. But
North
1
of
to
the
30.
line and something on North like minus 22.5 or something.
Yeah,
Yep.
fair enough. But yeah, I'm going to go safe at North.
I'd go
39.
North and North of the line and the over.
Yeah.
Nice.
My vibe. There you go. So we're all picking North.
Yep.
Yeah,
North.
wow.
That's awesome. What a
Oh.
world.
Yeah.
What a world.
Bet not jinx us.
All
There
right.
you go. That's all of the games.
Rate my multi.
Rate it. We're going to do a line multi here. Collingwood minus 17.5 against Carlton. Now, I already mentioned that I feel like Carlton and Collingwood play pretty close games.
Yep.
I do like the Pies, though, to win this, and it wouldn't be like this is the heartbreak of that the 3-goal, 18-point
You're like, oh, we were
line. You're
so
like, are you
close.
kidding me? And then like they get an extra one and put it out of reach. They win
Yeah.
by 19 or something. Hawthorn plus 5.5. We've already broken down why
Yeah.
we think they're going to be better than the Saints. Brisbane minus 20.5. I think they kill Gold Coast. Adelaide is the other one, plus 17.5. This gets you to 13.03 between the four of those at the line. Adelaide, that's the one I'm probably most worried about, just because Port might just like choke them out, win by 24 or 20, 24 plus essentially. But Adelaide, look, there's just something about that team at Adelaide Oval. They get up and about really quickly. So $13 for Rate My Multi. Gentlemen, rate it.
7.
Yeah, the only one I think Carlton could cover the line, but other than that, I really like it. So I'll be giving it an 8.
Yeah, I do. Look, I'll be putting Hawthorn Brisbane in like a bunch of different aspects, I think, and maybe actually North. I could actually even replace Adelaide with North, and I feel pretty good about it.
I don't mind Adelaide line.
Alex, you've got to rate my multi.
Goal kicker multi. Start off on Friday night. Charlie to kick 3+ just to keep up with that average. Jezza Cameron 4+ against Fremantle. Bud to inflict more pain on Essendon at 3+. Jacob Van Rooyen 2+. Get the t-shirts printed. Oscar Allen 2+. And Suva 4+.
Nice.
Gentlemen, $219.56.
What? Wait.
$219 multi.
Yeah.
That doesn't even look that bad.
I think Bud and Jezza are really...
Kerno 3+.
Yep.
Jezza 4+.
Yep.
Bud 3+.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you saying put the house on?
Rue 2+.
Yep.
Oscar Allen 2+ goals. Suva 4+.
The only
Rue I worry about. Bud I worry about.
Buddy's the one I worry about.
I'm less worried about Bud than I am about Van Rooyen because Bud kicked 3 last week against Alex Pearce. At least he's going okay. Like Buddy's going to play on Zerk Thatcher.
Jezza, Jeremy Cameron has been out of form a little bit as well for his standards.
He kicked 3, but he got 3 late against Brisbane last week, and it's like, you're going to be on Alex Pearce, and Buddy tore him apart.
Nice one. I'll give that about a 6. I worry.
I'll give it a 6.2.
Yeah. Right. What about best bets?
Best bets?
Best bets. It's best bets. It's time for all the best bets.
I got this here stuck in my head
What a
now.
song. Connor Rozee, 25+ touches and 2+ goals. He just keeps racking them up against.
love it.
And in the showdown, he shall go off. Charlie, 3+. I feel like that's a great addition basically across your multi. Look, the focal point of Carlton's offense obviously is what he's going to be. He's going to be blanketed between Maynard and Moore.
Yep.
Tough scenes, but I think he's good enough still to get loose with 3. He just keeps doing it. That's what he does. And Suva 6+, obviously. They're my 3 best bets for this weekend.
Ooh, nice.
And look, if you're going to go a line, Hawthorn plus 5.5, Brisbane minus 20.5.
Nice.
Stats guy.
Brisbane minus 20.5. If you're going to bet on anything this weekend, I'm really surprised that that's such a small line against the Suns. And then LDU, I think he's in great form, going to absolutely tear it up with AFL Fantasy. Bit of a niche bet with Labrooks.
Nice one. Alex?
Suva 6+, got to start with that. The Jezza 5+ at $7.25. Really shocked that it's that price. I think he's back. This is the chance we'll get to back Jeremy Cameron to kick a bag of goals. Buddy Franklin to kick 3 at $4.10, and I've got to have $5 on the 5 at $31. He's just in case. This is like, there's going to be one game.
Do they storm the field if he kicks 5?
I'll tell you what, I might. Buddy!
Alex can't go to a game ever
buddy.
again.
I made $150.
Wait, there's Errol! Also, that same game multi with better.
It's a $10,000 fight. He made $150.
We're doing the podcast from home. Alex is in a cell somewhere.
Guys, can you come bail me out?
No.
Wait until we get a sponsor for this.
Yeah, exactly. Tom Papley to kick a goal in the game with Errol 25 and Chunley 20 at $2.25. I love that same game multi with better. Really confident this weekend, actually. I'm up and about.
I worry how many things I'm confident about. Actually.
Yeah, it's really
it's always good for
that's where like GWS will come into nowhere and beat the Bulldogs or something, and you're like, what is going on? But and like Sydney smoke Essendon a bit, or maybe
for me that's great.
All right, that's it. CODE Bet Daily Weekly AFL Show done for today, done for this week. We'll be back on deck with the Daily Show tomorrow. I think it might actually just be Stats Guy and I.
Yeah, if I make it back from my appointment. Yeah.
Alex might die.
Yeah. Seriously, yeah. I am concerned.
But get around all the shows because we've got the NRL show later today as well. Subscribe on all of your podcast apps, like, review, and star them all. And check us a follow across all the socials, Facey, IG, Twitter, X.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bloody X. Do we have to call it X?
Yep.
Threads, TikTok, Twitch, whatever you need to. However you follow your stuff, do that. Send any questions, any multis for us to rate. Stats Guy said he's up and about for rating some multis.
Absolutely.
He's busy rating all of his dad's multis. Going, Dad, that one sucks. What are you doing? But either way, that's it. Big week. Huge week. Tumultuous week. Round 20 of the AFL. Should be. We should learn a bit, I think, this weekend.
Yeah, we should, yeah.
We'll learn that Carlton don't have it in them to make the finals, and that'll finally put me out of my misery. We'll learn whether or not the Roos can actually win 3 games in a season.
Yeah. If the Swans can sneak into finals, or if Stats Guy and I will come blow to blow about GWS and the Western Bulldogs.
Why not do the AFL show next week if North don't win?
Nice one. All right, thanks, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Cheers.
As always, thanks to Whoa Gerald for producing, and to our social guy, Leo, famed Hawks fan, Leo. He's feeling himself this week too. All right, what do we say, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
All right, may all your picks come in. Happy punting. We will catch you tomorrow and next week with more AFL gear. This is CODE Bet Daily. Over and out.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.